Indeed, God is present here and now.
Microphone.
I'll get used to this. In the awareness of God's presence here and now, as in everywhere and every time, let us pray. Father, Mother, God, we give thanks for this opportunity to be open to the awareness of your presence, to allow your love to flow through us unimpeded, to allow your insight to impress us, to allow your guidance to lead us into a greater expression of our divinity. And for those in our experience who seem to have a need for the awareness of the divine within them, we hold them in consciousness and we see them filled with your love, as it always is. We see them open up to the reception of that love, as is their choice. And we see the maturing, the blossoming of that expression of love through them, as is their destiny. And in the awareness of your ever-presence in our lives, we give thanks. And so together we say, Amen. Well, you are the one. And I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about you and you and you and you and you and you and you. I'm talking about you and you, and I'm talking about you and you and you and you. And I'm talking about you. And I'm talking about you and 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 you. And you. Not you, Clarence. No. But I am talking about you, and I'm talking about you, Dylan. I'm talking about each and every one of us. As we walk this path that we call our lives, we are the ones. We are the ones. There is a book by John Pavlovitz. How many know of John Pavlovitz? He's a rogue Lutheran minister. Is very active in the political sphere, very active in the online teaching environment. He's recently resigned from his church, not because they forced him out, although he was kind of a pariah within the Lutheran movement. But John is known for his ability, and I think you'll see it here because I use a number of quotes from him. He's known for his ability of taking truth and encapsulating it in a very understandable language. Well, his book, Hope and Other Superpowers, is the basis of a talk series that we're going to be doing, a 5-week talk series.
In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage live streams in YouTube's Live Control Room. We've built a brand new stream workflow in Live Control Room that combines the best of our classic live streaming creations.
Looking at this talk series. Oh, yeah? Oh, it's not here.
That's live stream.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the current version, January 12. Is that January 12?
You are the one. Version B.
There is no version B.
Yes. Sure says B on it.
Well, okay.
Hang on, we'll go back and reload it again. See right there, David? B.
That's at 9:15 this morning. Choose the 10:33. Scroll down. Oh, that one, yeah. Scroll down, please. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, one more. Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to do it like the ministers of old did it. They're going to consult their ebook notes. Any of you use Dropbox? We've been using Dropbox for years. And from time to time, we have this situation where an uploaded file just doesn't show up for sometimes hours. So that's where we are this morning. So if you have some suggestions on an alternative to Dropbox, that would be nice.
So, or maybe no early morning thoughts, no changing your mind early in the morning.
I'll have to say, I mean, I try to encourage, but that idea sucks. I mean, so, Patrick, if you would disconnect and monitor that to make so there's going to be a half dozen quotes from John, and I prefer to use those. So if you would disconnect the screen and continue to search for that file, and let me know when it's up. Thank you. So it's a good thing that this talk doesn't have to be very long, because it won't be. One of the things that one of the foundational teachings of unity, we have the 5 principles. We call it never. I don't have a screen up here. I guess I am going to have to do it the way the ministers used to do it in the old days. We have the 5 principles. The 5 principles, I call them the 5 pillars of faith. 5 principles is that there are one power and one presence, God the good. Second principle is that there is the Christ, that Son of God, that essence of the divine that is in each of us. The third principle is that the thoughts that we hold in mind manifest in our experience. That power of thought is central to the teachings of unity. And interestingly, it is the third of the 5 principles. The fourth principle is that the transformation practices that we use are prayer and meditation and denials and affirmations. And last week we talked about denials and affirmations. And the fifth principle is, knowing these principles, it is up to us to go out and apply them. Okay, so the central premise of the teachings of unity is that the power of our thoughts is absolutely critical for us to understand. That if we hold thoughts of power, of empowerment, of grandeur, of glory, that is going to be reflected in our lives. The alternative is that we have phone calls during the middle of the Sunday morning. The alternative is that the thoughts that we hold in mind that are negative, that are disempowering, that's going to be our experience. And Pavlovitz uses that principle, although I'm not sure that he even knows of the 5 principles, but he uses the principle of the power of thought in his book, Hope and Other Superpowers. We're going to be using that book in this series, and we're going to be addressing those 12 powers. The powers that are related to our relationship with others. Now, if I can remember them. I'll just go past that. You'll just remember this only that, well, David lost his way. So the way that we're going to be addressing this book will be looking at how we relate to others, looking at how we encounter the difficulties in our life, how we are addressing the worldview that we have, and the powers that we have to transform or to express that worldview. And then the tone of our actions of creativity. Oh, man, I shouldn't have gotten drunk last night. I didn't get drunk last night. So, John makes this point that we are in unprecedented times, that there are so many things that call us to transform, to engage, to take the power and apply the power of positivity, of hope, to this environment that we're in. We are not about discovering new things about ourselves, but we are about rediscovering the things that we have forgotten. He suggests that we go back and look at how we entered our teenage years, our adulthood, and how we envisioned that we were going to have the power to change the world. You all remember that? I mean, yeah. And for you, it wasn't that long ago, right? I mean, for some of us, it was half a century ago. But that power that we envisioned that we had was not fake news. That power that we envisioned that we had was truly the remembrance of where we came from. We came from the heart of God. We were born into this incarnation out of that universal spirit. And that universal spirit has offered to each and every one of us the power to change the world. But we are so beset by divisiveness. We're so beset by the negative energy. We're so beset by the imprisonment that we have imposed upon ourselves. As we have gotten older, we've seen things that we've tried and didn't work. We've seen attempts that we have had with various relationships, perhaps various jobs, for me, many various jobs. And the opportunity that we had when those relationships went south, or when those job opportunities went south, or when those investment opportunities turned sour, and the things that have happened to us that have caused us to say, well, that didn't work. Those things have worn down that primal energy of that empowerment that we were born with. And it's important that we remember that power, because it hasn't been lost. We've just forgotten it. It hasn't bled away. We've just whittled away at it. It has an inherent presence within us that all we have to do is remember it. And that remembering is really our hope. That remembering is really the basis of the powers that he speaks of in his book, Hope and Other Superpowers. So it's this rediscovery. There is, if we step back and we look at our lives, the arc of our lives has not been a straight line, has it? It's been an undulating line of some sort. Perhaps there have been some spikes or some precipitous falls, but that arc of our lives is really under our control, not necessarily in terms of the events that happen, but rather our response to the events that happen. And the overall arc of our lives is dependent upon that response. That response can be based in fear, or that response can be based in love. As A Course in Miracles says, those are the two states of consciousness that we deal with. To one extent or another, we allow fear to overcome our sense of engagement and our sense of togetherness, that sense of love. And at the same time, we have the power to change that. We have the power to allow our sense of fear to wither in the gale force wind of love. And that love is really the basis of our hope. And that arc of our lives is not dependent upon, it's not changed by precipitous things, it's not changed necessarily by bold actions, but it's changed by little increments. It's changed by little expressions that we offer to those around us. You've heard me talk about a little coffee shop up in Estes Park. And we go there for a cup of coffee. I live in Boulder. We live in Boulder. And we go there for a cup of coffee as an excuse to drive South St. Vrain Canyon and Peak to Peak Highway. But when I go into that coffee shop, the coffee shop name is Kind. Kind Coffee. Do you know it? Have you been to Kind Coffee? It's where Highway 36 and Highway 34 come together, right? Just west of the lake. And it's in a little L-shaped shopping center just as you go past that stoplight into, I think, is it Moraine Drive? Anyway, whatever that main street is in Estes Park. A little coffee shop there on the left called Kind Coffee. And there's an energy about that place. When I go into Kind Coffee, there is a sense of kindness. How does that arise? Does that arise just from the name? Or does it arise from our anticipation and subsequent expression of that sense of kindness? It's interesting that in that coffee shop, I have had more opportunities and taken those opportunities to pay it forward. This last time we were up in Kind Coffee, I think that was on, when was that? The last nice day that we had to drive the mountain roads. There was a young couple. They were all lovey-dovey. I mean, they may have been in their early 20s. Reminded me of Linda and I when we were in our 20s. We liked to express to the whole world that we were in love with each other, and we took every opportunity to be embracing while we were out and about. I won't go there. So this. No. It was a reflection of 17-year-old hormones in the center of an apartment complex in the grassy area. I said I wouldn't go there. What am I doing? So anyway, they were all lovey-dovey, and I got they were right in front of me, and so when they stepped up to order their coffee, I surreptitiously passed my debit card to the cashier and just pay for it. And so they ordered their thing, and they went to pay, and the cashier says, "Oh, you don't need to do that. It's taken care of." And they looked around, and they saw this look on my face, I guess, and they said, "Well, we'll buy his then." Well, that would not have been a good investment because we have 2 cups of coffee and scones, and and they only had 2 cups of coffee. So at any rate, I said, no, this is, just pay it forward. You're trying to pay it back. Just pay it forward. And the opportunities that we have for very little investment to make someone else happy. I mean, every time I do that, I mean, it was $8, $2, it was $10. And that is one of the most effective means that I have of really feeling good and connected, is to pay it forward. To buy somebody something when they're not expecting it. To give them perhaps a lift. To give them an opportunity to realize that, yes, indeed, there are miracles in the world. And I know it's kind of a facile miracle, but nonetheless, it is an opportunity for us to connect. And we have that opportunity repeatedly in our lives, right? And it's those little things that change the arc of our lives. It bends it just a little. Why does it bend it just a little? Because it allows me to feel good. I got more out of that transaction than they did, right? I mean, you understand that? I got much more out of that transaction than they did. They got a couple of cups of coffee. I got this feeling of expansiveness, of connectedness, of presence of the miracles of life. And perhaps they did as well. I can't see what their experience was. But the point is that the arc of our lives, it's made up not of little things, not of big things, but of little things. Little things that we do. Opening the door for someone, smiling at someone, letting someone know that they are worthy of being on this planet, worthy of sucking up the oxygen, worthy of occupying the space. Pavlovich shares a story of when he was a youth minister. He was just out of seminary. He didn't start a church. He went to a church as a youth minister. And he was befuddled by all of the stuff going on. He was in the office, and he was over the copy machine, apparently with some look of consternation on his face. And the administrator of the church came in and said, "John, you're just dripping with the Holy Spirit." Now, that may not be a term that you find to be comfortable. Actually, it's not a term that I use very often. But dripping with the Holy Spirit. And he said that in that time, he really didn't think much about it. You know, he still had the things that were troubling him. And he was still trying to deal with issues in the youth ministry. But he said after reflection, after remembering that, he realized that she gave him a compliment, an empowering affirmation that cost her absolutely nothing but awareness. The awareness of being an influencer in another person's life. And we're all influencers, right? We all are influencers. And how we influence someone, whether we engage them or not, we are still influencing them. When we walk by someone who has a sign up, spare a quarter for my food, and we walk on by, we've influenced them, right? Not necessarily positively, but we have influenced them. They walk away thinking, well, that jerk didn't even make eye contact with me. One of the things that I try to do when I go by someone who is asking for money, I at least acknowledge them. I don't look away, I acknowledge them, and I smile. If nothing, maybe flash a peace sign or something. But Sometimes I offer a buck. I'm not a big spender at the local, at the stoplight charity. But nonetheless, we have the opportunity to influence each and every person that we engage. And the question is, are we going to invest that little bit of time, that little bit of awareness, to influence in a positive way, or are we going to influence in a negative way? It's up to us. But whatever we do is going to change the shape every little bit, ever so little, of that arc of our experience. And we can have in our minds that, you know, I'm a great person, I'm a God-fearing Christian, which in my mind is antithetical to Christianity, but that we have the opportunity to engage our experience in a way that is going to positively influence those around us. And when we make that choice, when we actually say, yes, I'm here, I'm ready, realizing that we have that power and applying that power is really the basis of how we are going to change what is going on around us. Now, we may decide, you know, I'm going to run for Congress. Or we may decide I'm going to run for city council. Or we may decide I'm going to run for county commissioner. I'm going to run for my school board. Or I'm going to be active in the PTA program. Or I'm going to be something where I'm offering my time to the betterment of those around us. That's the point. We have time that we can offer to those, to the betterment of those around us. And that will affect not just the arc of our lives, but it will establish, or it will continue and reestablish the values that we hold dear of connectedness, of empowerment, of worthiness expressed to those around us. That's up to us. That's up to us, and it is a low cost. It's low cost. If you think, though, that you're alone in this, you're not. If you look around, we've got a whole team right here, right? But the point is that there are people all around us, walking past us every day, that we can engage, that we can enlist, or they can enlist us, but we can form this phalanx of positivity moving through the world. It's not about stepping up and being the Lone Ranger out there, but rather it's about stepping up into taking the place in the team. There's a whole body of people that are interested in seeing this place work, seeing this society work, seeing this world come together, not in conflict, but to come together in compassion and to share each and every heart with those that are in need. It's up to us. And it is a low-cost thing for us to need, but if we are willing to do that, realize that there are those out there that want to shut us down. There are those out there that want to attack us. There are those out there who are so threatened by this expression of love that they're going to denigrate our efforts. They're going to say, yeah, you're just peeing in the wind. It's not going to change. You are on a fool's errand. And they're going to offer evidence to that. And it's going to be up to us to say, that's not true. That's not true at all. We are here. We are powerful. We are a team of mighty divine warriors that are transforming this planet. We need to remember who we are. We are children of God. We're empowered to be the force of love in this time. We need to remember that whatever is offered to us, we can transform. If it's negativity that is offered to us, we can take that negative energy, we can transform it into a powerful expression that will not just reverse that negativity, but rather empower all of those who are in that beam of negative energy. We have the power to do that. The question is, are we willing? Are we willing to invest the time? Are we willing to hold the vision that there is something better out there that we can contribute to? Realizing that vision takes just a little bit of effort. What can I offer you? What can each of you offer to your circle of friends, your circle of influencers? What can we each individually do to contribute to the betterment of our society? Like everything else, it's just a choice. We have the power. Are we willing to use it? We'll have our meditation. As we come into our meditation, let us come in with, I cast all my cares. As we breathe into this moment, as we allow all of the negativity to lay aside, as we regard this moment as certainly a sacred moment, as everyone is, but as we regard this moment as pristine, unencumbered by any obstacles that we have placed upon it, this moment right now, is our moment of empowerment. In this pristine moment, realizing who we are as empowered children of the divine. In this moment, we can declare that we are who we've been waiting for. We are the one. Individually and collectively, we are the one. As we go about our daily experience over the course of the next few days, let us search for those opportunities to be the one. To be the one to bring love. To be the one to bring empowerment. To be the one to lift someone who is down. We can be that force for change. We can be the ones who can lift a stranger, who can help a loved one. We are the ones. Consider all the opportunity that we have in our life. From day to day, all of the people with whom we cross paths. Doors to open, smiles to offer, empowering words to give, opportunities to help someone up that has fallen, to engage with someone who is struggling. We are the ones. Breathing in and breathing out. We are the ones. Individually, I am the one. Share those words with me. I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. Feel that expansive experience that comes from using that phrase, I am the one. That phrase is something that we can use minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. I am the one. Not from a sense of arrogance, but from a sense of awareness. I am the one. I step up to help. I step up to empower. I step up to transform a neutral moment into a moment of joy. I step up into that negative situation, neutralizing that negativity and bringing something of value to those present. I am the one. Yes, you are. And with this sense of empowerment, we come back into this time and space, sharing the words of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give you love because I trust in God. And once again, Trinity Damask and irreverence.